solidarity of how various partners can get together and respond to a national need, to an urgent need. It is also a demonstration of collaboration, of how partners can collaborate together to respond to urgent challenges. And really, we are gathered here to seek collective action to give all the children of our country what most of us take for granted. When we talk about going to the toilet, we take it for granted. But across the length and the breadth of our country, there are many who face enormous challenges. And as we have heard, even death when they have to go to a toilet. We are here to ask you to be part of a bold social initiative to ensure that every school in our country has safe and appropriate sanitation facilities. This is an initiative that will save lives, but it will also restore dignity to tens of thousands of our nation's children, as our Constitution demands. The Sanitation Appropriate for Education, or SAFE as we call it, initiative will spare generations of young South Africans the indignity, the discomfort, as well as the danger of using pit latrines and other unsafe facilities in our schools. Schools should really be places where children have fun, where children get educated, where children can have a sense that they are safe, where they are supported, where they are nurtured, and where they are also empowered. Schools should be centers for building communities and for strengthening partnerships between a caring government, of the people, and for the people themselves. This SAFE initiative reaches beyond the bricks and the mortar of water and sanitation. It is an initiative that in many ways touches the young souls of our nation. It seeks to contribute to building a cohesive society in which schools are the heartbeat of wholesome communities. We are gathered here to respond to an urgent human need. There are nearly 4,000 schools across the country that only have pit latrines or other inappropriate sanitation facilities. These are the schools that serve the children of the poor in our country. It was in such a school, Mahlodumela Primary School in Limpopo, where 5-year-old Michael Komape drowned in a pit toilet in 2014. It was also in such a school, Luna Junior Primary School in the Eastern Cape, where Lumka Mkhetwa lost her life in March this year. And it was this that really touched the sensitive nerve or chord of our nation, and where we felt that we needed to do something immediately and urgently. It is a pity that this type of initiative was sparked off by the tragedy of young people dying, but it is better not to have left it like that and do nothing. Today, we are doing something about it. The utterly tragic and devastating deaths of children so young and so innocent remind us of the human consequences of service delivery that is deferred, service delivery that is derailed, service delivery that is delayed, and also service delivery that is denied to our people. They remind us that we must focus all our attention not on what we have achieved, but on what we have not achieved. We have achieved a great deal. The time has now come for us to move beyond focusing on, yes, lauding ourselves with praises on what we have achieved. We must now zero into what we have not done and make sure that we implement our plans and we pay attention to that which we are supposed to do. We have heard the cries of anguished families. We have felt the outrage of a society that cannot bear to witness to another needless death of a young person, the future of our nation. It is our responsibility as government, but it is also our responsibility as business, as civil society, yes, as parents, as teachers, and indeed as communities, to act with purpose, but also to inject urgency and unity in that purpose. Through the SAFE initiative, we can all help to restore the dignity of learners in mostly rural and township schools by providing age-appropriate sanitation facilities. Just as it takes a village to raise a child, so too does it take an entire society to educate a child. With today's launch, we are calling on all South Africans. We're calling on the corporates in our country, NGOs, and international partners to be part of this ambitious but also necessary effort to give effect to the fundamental human rights of our learners. In doing so, we will also be contributing to the improvement of our education system. We cannot expose our learners and educators to an environment that is not conducive to teaching and learning and still expect excellent education outcomes. We will also be contributing to the broader goal of decent sanitation for all our people. As we heard earlier from our colleague Ndadeli Sufi, who said that schools are centers not only of education, but they are community centers as well. Our funerals are held in schools, our weddings are held in schools, our community meetings are held in schools. So schools have become the epicenter of community collaboration, community communion, community acting together. So it is in these schools where we need, yes, to give life and meaning to our call for decent education for all our people. The United Nations Development Programme estimates that globally there are more than 2.4 billion people who do not have access to basic sanitation like toilets and latrines. Through the Sustainable Development Goals, global leaders have agreed that by 2030, we must have achieved access to adequate and equitable sanitation and hygiene for all. Aware of this of the importance of adequate sanitation in preventing diseases and ensuring economic and social benefits, South Africa is committed to attaining the targets of sanitation for all by 2030. We've made significant progress in this regard. The percentage of households in our country with access to improved sanitation increased from 62% in 2002 to 80% in 2015. In the public school system, since the advent of democracy, over 11,000 schools have been provided with flush toilets linked to either a municipal connection or a septic tank. In instances where reticulated water connections are not available, government has provided appropriate alternative sanitation technologies in a further 9,600 public schools. However, despite this progress, we are painfully aware that we have not done enough, and we are not moving nearly as fast as we need to. In our quest to ensure universal access to safe and dignified sanitation, we need to employ the sanitation solutions of tomorrow and not yesterday. And this is where technology comes to our aid. Current models of sanitation are expensive. They require large-scale networked infrastructure, and they have a high energy budget and use much more water than we have. This is why the Water Research Commission has partnered with local and international organizations to realize a new approach to sanitation. The new toilet systems are localized. Usually they work off-grid, potentially energy producing, and use minimal water in many instances. These are not low technology solutions. Instead, they use the benefit of the best science in the world to achieve high-tech, low-maintenance, and value-adding solutions. So this SAFE initiative could be a catalyst for a new revolution in sanitation in our country. It could also demonstrate that these new systems can be effectively implemented at scale. By finding innovative solutions to a challenging problem, we will not only be able to make our schools safer and the lives of our learners better, but we will be opening new possibilities for environmentally sustainable sanitation. This has broader and social as well as economic implications, because it will encourage the deployment of new sanitation technology in public and other facilities, and also potentially establish an industry in South Africa for the development and production of such systems. It is in this regard that we call upon the private sector to become an integral part of this effort to realize the basic human rights of our children and to secure their future. There are several ways in which all of us can get involved, and particularly the private sector. Firstly, it can be through contributions to the SAFE initiative. Companies can support the construction of models of new technology toilets as a core component of the plan of each school. Secondly, companies can adopt a group of schools as model schools for joint sanitation, water, energy, off-grid solutions. And thirdly, companies can be part of building a South African base for the industrialization of these new technologies for local as well as for global markets. In whatever way we each choose to assist, there is an urgent need to collectively develop infrastructure that will bring dignity to those who lack safe and adequate sanitation and thereby improve public health. We seek sustainable and affordable solutions that have community support. And we also seek partners that will not rest until every school and every learner has decent, safe, and appropriate sanitation. It is in this regard that we call upon all stakeholders to help build a social compact that is greater than the sum of its parts, which harnesses the resources and capabilities of each social partner to achieve our common goals. It is also in this regard that we say, let us build this social compact that essentially recognizes our shared responsibility to build a new society that is founded on the principles of justice, respect, dignity, and equality. We are called upon to act in solidarity with the children of our country. And solidarity is a concept that is raging throughout the world like wildfire, because it is now realized that no one partner can do anything on their own. And it is also realized that those who are in greatest need are people that we need to support and assist at all costs. And allow me, in conclusion, to extend my appreciation to those organizations that have joined government in launching this initiative. UNICEF, the United Nations, is here in its mighty form. So UNICEF is here, the Nelson Mandela Foundation, and the National Education Collaboration Trust. But we also want to thank those corporates who have already demonstrated that they want to be part of this initiative to help and to act in solidarity. There are quite a number of corporates, and some of them are enlisted around here. The minister told me that already, by your presence here, we already have signed up a number of pledges, and the pledges that have been signed up will go towards constructing safe toilets to about 1,000 schools already here this morning. This is real good action. My objective and the minister's objective, obviously, is to go beyond this 1,000. Yes, her name was Lumka Mkethwa, and she was 5 years old. And today, we are launching this initiative in memory of Lumka Mkethwa, and indeed of all other young people who died needlessly in our toilets. And through this initiative, where we're acting with our various partners, we hope to wipe out these abhorrible latrines from the face of our country. And it can be done, and it starts today. We will do it. Your involvement gives us confidence that however great the challenge, however dire the need, it is indeed by working together that we will succeed. This, colleagues, friends, countrymen and women, is something that we must do. This is an obligation that all of us must take on for the sake of our children, for the sake of the memory of Lumka Mkethwa, and for the sake of all the young children who died in our schools, and for the sake of the future of our country. We must do this. I thank you for your participation this morning.
Mr. President.